Whenever you're ready. Okay, we will call the special Board of Finance meeting to order at 7 o'clock. And roll call, please. Grab all members present. Thank you. Item number 2, old business, 2A, discussion of possible action on fiscal year 23-24. Okay, our first item tonight is emergency services.
2201.
Yes, thank you very much. I suppose the fire departments, would you like to say a few words?
Excuse me, I lost my voice.
Oh, I say.
I know, you guys. Chief of the fire department, last year we did 469 calls. We're still running short. We don't have a lot of people. They're running 19 members right now. Of that, we've got 10 firefighters, we've got 10 EMTs, 12 EMRs, and 3 fire police. We do have 1 new member this year that just started, and she's looking at trying to take some of these EMT classes. They've got the fire academy classes coming up that she's going to be interested in. We went up a little bit on budget this year, very minimal. Again, we're trying to keep it as close to a 0 increase as possible. The big thing that we're looking at is retention for next year. I keep asking, and I realize we're talking budget years. What our members really need, we need to reward them. Again, 19 members, $50,000 that we've got doesn't go a long way. It does give them a little bit of money out, but again, the taxes and everything else that comes out of it. We're not getting a lot of members. We need to be able to keep our members that we have. So that's why I'm really asking them to take a look at what we can do with retention money.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Chief, sorry to make you have to talk. That's really necessary. Can you just refresh our memory? How do you run your retentions based on recalls and how many meetings you attend?
Yeah, what we do to make to stay an active member of the fire department, we must make 15% of the calls and 30% will be able to trainings a year. That's how to about 80 calls a year, but you gotta make about 18, 19 trainings a year. That's the way, the more you go to, the more money you'll make. It increases as you go up on figures. You'll get the average, everybody's average is between 20 and 30% right now. That's the goal.
Any other questions? Okay, with the Jewish City part of it? Yeah.
Good afternoon. Louis Mayfield, Chief of Bruce Fire Department, Deputy Kevin Buffer, Captain Rich Walsall, and his wife, who should be a member because she's there more than anyone else. So, Jewett City Fire Department has 38 members. We have 20 pack guys, one going to fire room now. I'm down in a second, 10 cadets, 8 fire police. We have 8 EMTs as of now. We have 8 going to class shortly, 8 more. And we have, we just had 5 pass for fire, 1 exam, fire 1 class. So we're getting there. Recruitment retention is picking up, which is great. As we talked about in the past, last year, I think recruitment and retention was big. We, I'm gonna pass these out just so everyone has it. This is the last one we did. Flyer, Griswold and Jewett City gonna do a joint flyer. We're gonna pay for it, Jewett City will pay for it. Everyone will have one, the whole town of Griswold, and I think Lynn's gonna get a few too, because the way the mailing routes go. So, there's gonna be 1 half Griswold, and 1 half Jewett City, with explanations on, you know, what we do, how it started and stuff like that, with pictures of both departments. So it lets everyone know in town that they have a volunteer fire department, because a lot of people don't know we have a volunteer fire department. Also, last night, which I think you can probably see from here, we put this new recruitment retention thing, seeking volunteers. We put it on the back of the station, because everyone in Little League will see it. And active audience back there, as many as we have. As you know, every night there's something going on in the Little League field, so we're trying to do the best we can with what we have, money wise. As you probably looked and seen in my budget this year, 41% of my budget went to classes, new gear for the people that just passed fire 1, and the EMT class coming up, plus other trainings that we had. So 40% is a lot of the fire department budget, which is only 109,000. So everything else goes to the stuff we have to do every year, all the trainings, A and B, maintenance and everything else. It just, we don't have much to spend. We're scrapping right now. We're on a do not spend anything until the end of the year, because we're hoping to make the budget where it's gonna be, but we're gonna be real tight. But you gotta send people to class. We need firefighters, we need EMTs, so it costs us a lot. So it is what it is. You know, it's tough because Tom was saying recruitment retention, trying to keep these people. You know, firefighters have a 9% higher risk of being diagnosed with cancer and a 14% higher risk of dying of cancer in the general population. And that's from the NIOSH studies. Now, what's the general public? So I went to the Cancer Society site, and it's 41% for a male and 39% for a female. So firefighters have a 50% chance of possibly getting cancer. So, you know, these guys are putting their lives on the line for fire, rescue, whatever, plus also the stuff that we breathe in the air, which isn't good. As you look at the budget, I have a little concern. My recruitment retention next year, if I figure what's gonna happen this year with all the new members that we got the past year to now, I'm gonna have to be up to 70,000. We're only at 52. And that's just a ballpark figure. We spitting numbers left and right, getting who's making calls and stuff. We did 603 calls last year. We're up to 170 already this year. And we're only in the middle of April. So, you know, 52,000 is not even gonna cut it. I don't know where the overflow is gonna come from. And that's something I was gonna ask you as a board, where that might happen. Now, are we gonna hit 70,000? No, but I think we're gonna be pretty close. Because the people that are gonna make their checks are gonna make their checks, you know who those are, and then you get all these new members. So that's where we're at for that. Last year's budget, compared to Griswold, we were $1,899 less than that. This year's budget, if you go by the new numbers, we're $7,557 less than that. That's a big difference in budgets. And I would like the both of them to be pretty close. Well, I'd like to be more, really, but we might be true retention, but that's a thing that I think should be addressed at some point. If you count the recruitment retention and the general budget. You have in here for physicals this year, $524, which I've been paying from Concentra for physical. We switched to, I think we're gonna switch to somewhere else. We had someone go yesterday, it worked out really well. So it might be a little cheaper, so we'll save some money. They have 10,000 in here for, physicals. I don't need 10,000. You can lower that. You can lower that probably to 85, so. Just so you know, for money wise. So they can save there. You know, the way the crew retention works is, it's always been a little screwed because, you know, we do 600 calls, really those 460, whatever it is. If you figure it out, I did 95% of the calls, let's say. That's my number. If you take that, that would be, it was 100 and I figured out 138 calls that if I was in Griswold, I wouldn't have to go to, but make the same amount. So that's a lot of calls. That's almost 48 hours of time, if you count 20 minutes per call. So just the way the crew retention's always been. Not saying it's right or wrong, but there is a little difference. So just keep that in mind when you do the budget. But I am gonna have an issue with the recruitment retention this year coming up. I know I am. So we're gonna have a lot more checks than we are gonna have money. So, and we're supposed to do them both the same. Both departments are supposed to do them both the same. So if we have to cut, they're gonna have to cut too. So to keep it within my money. So we do have a new fire truck coming, in about 2 months. So the 32-year-old truck will disappear. Probably gonna go as a reserve piece for the town. All the other fire trucks are pretty good. There's ladders, 22 years old. The ET2 is 12 years old, and the services are doing good. So this is for equipment wise, we're doing good. So that's pretty much it.
Great, excellent, thank you. Any questions?
I just noticed the only ground for me, I thought you, again, it's gonna be another long one, like 81.
I hope so. I'm praying. I'm hoping they get a lower price, right?
Because of the Grizzle went up $2,000. 7,000.
They don't have oil. Do you have oil? What do you have for heat?
Yes,
Gas. They have gas. We have oil.
the difference.
The gas situation that we have, everything's good. Gas prices are pretty high this year. But again, we get a discount on them because we're using so much of it in the firehouse that they give us a little break on how much they're charging us per gallon.
We try to keep it low. Try to keep these low.
Yeah, I just noticed it's a small increase. compared to-
Well, I'm hoping that the town has a budget, you know, because they go out, we go through the town, and the town has a cut prices, so. And we get automatic bills until a certain stop, and then we'll stop for the year.
And the cell phone and iPad went up, 1,200 down.
What happened when we started with the new program called Crew Force, so, all the trucks, 2 of the trucks now, there are gonna be more in the future, have the iPads with it's all made to QB itself, it's our iPad. So a lot of it, you don't have to talk on the radio anymore, it goes through the iPad and stuff. So we had to get 2 iPads for that, they have the services and everything else. Issue is the phone, cable, and TV through Green Line went up, and I can't do anything because the town has a contract. So, and they went up big time, so, and I can't shop it, because they would have to go and, I think they've been working on it, but, Eric told me. So maybe they can lower that part, that'd be good. Because it went up, we hardly use the phones, we do use the TVs, and we definitely use the internet station.
We got a competition on time.
Yes, they do, yes, they do, so hopefully they can use it against us. Yeah, and lower that price. Garbage just went up, I saw it in my monthly thing, so, I mean, everything's going up, you try to scale back what you can, but there's only so much you can do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Sure.
So if you know the recruitment and retention is gonna go up, why did you ask for more money?
Well, they told me 2%. Asked for 2%. So I did the 2%. And then we were figuring numbers after we did that. And boom, I mean, all these new members, it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
what do I do? I mean, I'm between them.
No, you get the 2%, but
Yeah.
if you can validate that you need, $10,000 more, then put it in the budget. You know.
Next year I will, trust me, I need more on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cause I just was seeing if they cut it. And I see that's what you asked for, so that's, I was curious. Also, last year, there was quite a lot of discussion about the retention and recruitment between the two departments, and I know, Todd was gonna do a committee with the two departments and do meetings. Did that happen?
We had a couple of meetings, that's pretty much where it stopped.
They never went anywhere.
Because we were gonna do one thing, we brought it up to the board, and they didn't like the idea. You guys didn't like the idea or something, and it kind of, after that, it kind of stopped. And that's kind of where we were
I
left.
don't, I don't recall ever getting any feedback. I don't know, but-
Yeah, there was the way they were gonna do it was add it all one, and they were gonna take from big pool and stuff like that, and there was you guys weren't really receptive to it. So we, after that, we just never went back, we never went to talk to them.
I think there was a talk about that, but, as we were gonna be bringing it forward, that it kind of was like, well, nobody could understand how one department can go and spend $4,000 in the bank where another department might spend $8,000 in the bank where less people, and that's where things weren't evened out. And they said, well, we need to, how we could make everything fair.
Right,
But
so that was never figured
And
out.
I never, and
kind of stopped.
never really got anywhere with it.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm very frugal with it, anything that we,
No, I just knew there was intention last year, and I wanted to make sure that was.
Yeah, no.
Between the two departments, should be arguing, I mean, you guys are all the same.
Oh, we're not arguing, I just want to be, is the point of, it's great to have, what's your other option? Besides volunteers is paid, and you know what, that's gonna
No,
cost.
no, I'm confused, you're presenting like they weren't giving you the money you needed.
No, it's just,
Wasn't
what,
there.
it's what I'm gonna need now is kind of where we're at now, because looking at the numbers and not really going into this thinking, oh, I might be, I should be able to do it with that, and now I'm looking at all the numbers, like, there's no way, and, if we stay with the same numbers that we do now, there's no way I'm cutting it.
So what is the reduction in the physical testing that you need $10,000?
I don't, what happened was, I left that there from a previous year, and I should have cut that down to less, but they granted me the 10 grand, 10,000, I don't need 10,000. I need 8.
So
$85.
if you don't use that 2,000, can it be moved over to the resubmission?
That's up to you, as your board, that goes back to you guys.
I guess on the OSHA physical testing, fewer members, way more members, same amount of money for each department for that. So how does that work?
Well, right
Now,
now,
my 8 is asking for 8, you got more members.
because right now, if you're a junior member, you don't need an OSHA physical. I can get the high school physical from them, from the junior members. Anyone 18 and over, I need a firefighter physical, their firefighter physical. Now, I do have firefighters that belong to other departments, that are paid departments, which I get their firefighter physicals like Tom does. Tom's a paid guy somewhere, so he gets the physical, doesn't go on the $8,000. And also, we are gonna go somewhere else, which is gonna be cheaper, if you find out there. So I can save myself $500 per physical.
So
which
if
is
you
great.
have 8 members, you don't need 38.
Exactly, which fire police don't need physicals, they need to know from the doctor,
I see.
or stuff like that.
And for your retention and recruitment for new members, at what, there's gotta be a cutoff point when they become the members before they become eligible for
A
that.
year, it's a year,
It's 12 months.
12 months. Yeah. A lot of them, a lot of them mark. And they, and they have to be in good standing, they have to make their trainings, they have to make their points, so there's, members that want to go to fires and stuff, that can't go, they're not gonna go to EMSs and stuff. So they know they're not gonna get checks, but they're still in the fire. They still
Junior
get
members,
It's not,
what do we do for junior members?
junior members will get a small stipend, they don't get a full stipend. They get like a quarter. Yeah.
How many junior members do you have?
Junior members, we have 10.
How many junior members do you have?
None.
Is the way that we distribute the money is the same based on calls and training? Is the dollar value the same between both departments?
They are, yes, for retention, yes, they are. Yes, they are.
But it sounds like it would be more, I'm sorry, Scott, it sounds like it would be more calls if they're going on percentage if you're doing 600 calls to 406.
Right.
Right, but they,
Percentages, so percentages, so
but a percentage or percentage.
percentage of that number of calls.
Like I said, if I was in Griswold, I would do a lot less calls, under 40 calls, but get paid the same.
Right.
Right. And what are the limitations of doing the members?
Limitations,
Yeah.
they can't go on fires or anything, they can't climb over. So they have to try to pretty much.
Truck support or?
Yeah, truck support, they can roll holes,
Yeah.
a lot of them, they don't get close to a fire, or any hazards, they're way back, yeah. Yeah. And, it's nice to have, we had the school program kind of brought some kids in because they come in, they have to do 10 hours. And they come in to help and they like the fire department and kind of draw them in that way, so it's been working good. We're doing
Okay.
good, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we are going to do highway departments.
So it's 3201, Todd called today, he could not come tonight,
Okay,
he had something that he had to go to.
okay, so,
I can go through the budgets if you want, I can answer questions, I can relay anything I don't know to Todd. He also said he would be available on Tuesday, if you guys wanted to come on Tuesday.
okay,
So however you want to handle it, I will.
okay, why don't we, let's see what we can do tonight, and then,
So 3201 is Public Works, Highway Department. The director's salary is still in negotiations. The selectmen are meeting tomorrow to discuss that. Nothing's been finalized on that yet. That's just an estimate that Todd put that he wanted, doesn't mean that's what is gonna come of the negotiations. We'll know more after tomorrow, I would think. Other increases, the contractual increases, of course, the insurance, pension, the union contract. We went up a couple thousand in other purchase supplies. A lot of that is because now they have a clothing allowance for the union contract in the last negotiations. So they each get $200. Gas, we went up because we're already almost over budget and diesel prices are still high, and that's what most of the fleet is diesel. So we went up there. We went up $5,000 in equipment repairs, just because the cost of all the repairs are getting so much higher. If anyone has any questions?
Eric, how much did we save on the snow removal and salt and the
I can let you know where we are right now.
You didn't change the request.
No, because I mean, this year, it was just crazy, I didn't use much. I wouldn't advise going down based on this year, because I think it's an anomaly.
so they buy us like, they don't.
Yeah, but like, right now, we have 27,500 left in the snow removal, but if the shed's not full, I'll probably suggest filling it up before the end of the year, so we can start next year fresh.
Yeah.
Snow removal overtime, we have a savings too.
Yeah.
Right now, we still have 17,700 remaining, so that's a good savings there.
Yeah.
And hopefully we shouldn't have to use that anymore, but you never know.
That's great. Any other questions that Eric?
What happens to that money that we don't use?
Goes back into service.
Sure.
Or to transfer to other line items within the department there. Like,
Like diesel?
I anticipate the gas is gonna be over, so we can use some of that savings, so that.
Alex,
Yeah.
okay. This is more of a question for the first line. We have a couple members of the board of selectmen present, and I brought up at the beginning, the budget talks about personal contracts, and years ago, we had a legal opinion about legal personal contracts and when those could be brought up and executed. Shouldn't be during the middle of the budget season like we are right now. It needs to be brought up when we're voting on the budget. So in other words, don't handcuff the Board of Finance's hands. We did have a contract that I believe had to be nullified after that legal opinion years ago. And then had to be brought before the Board of Finance to vote on during the budget cycle. So this is a pretty healthy increase that's in there right now. I know it may not be where we're at, but there are two increases in this budget for labor that make up almost 25% of the labor increases for the town government budget. And that's for two people. This being one. This is 11.34% increase. A little high in my opinion. And I don't think any personal contract should be entered into mid-budget sale. Budget was to start to July 1st. We're in April. I think that we should take a look at it based on all the other salary increases and set the number, and then they deliberate and execute personal contracts based on the Board of Finance's suggestions. Because we went down this road before. If something gets passed, we don't agree with it. That full-time position doesn't work full-time hours. Hours need to be cut.
Yeah, because there's only a certain amount set in the budget.
Right.
I would think we should have an idea by your meeting on the 27th.
But not executed before the Board of Finance has a chance to deliberate on the entire budget, not just that one particular.
Yeah, and I don't have that legal opinion. Do you know?
I'm sure I can find it.
Do you have a copy of the document? Yeah. I've not seen that, so, but yeah, that'd be great.
Any other comments, questions? I think those are very valid points.
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
on line 5101, regular full-time payroll, there's a $19,000 increase there. It says under per union contract, is that the same number of employees? Or is there another employee there?
Yeah, that's for the 7 employees.
This same number?
Yes. And remember, that's 2 years of raises. Because if you look at 23, it's the same as it was in 22, because we didn't have the contract finalized last year. It's all 2.5% increases for the 7 members.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And talk to us about the health insurance a little bit.
Health insurance is up a little over 7%, and one person that retired was 2 people on the insurance. The person that replaced him has family insurance, so that's a high category as well.
Now, I've said this before, and I'll just repeat it. You know, we all groan when we see the health insurance numbers. I would hope that during contract negotiations with the union, that a larger percentage of the amount paid, the premium, is slowly being shifted over to the employee. Not a horrendous amount, but fair is fair. And the taxpayers shouldn't have to bear 100% of the burden of the increase.
It's been going up 1% every year, with the exception of 1 year.
And what about the deductibles as well? The deductibles are not part of anything that the town pays. Is that correct?
Correct, the deductibles are what they are, that the state says for their plan.
Does the Board of Finance want to set on negotiations with the union and town?
No,
That's something,
it's all Board of Selectmen.
that's something that I think could be done.
I don't see why not, I'd be up to the selectmen to decide that.
And in regard to the health insurance, not just this department, but all departments,
Do we have an incentive for people who have insurance from both spouses? For one spouse to sort of give up?
Yes.
Their.
Yeah, we have a buyout option. Which saves us money if they opt out of insurance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Eric, the road signage,
Yeah,
instead of, when this was printed, we used 450 out of 6,000. I do see in 21-22, we used almost 6,000, but 2021, we used 36,
we typically use,
the whole amount.
yeah. Usually when spring comes, he looks around and sees what we need for new signage and orders the spring.
Any other questions?
The equipment repairs and purchase, and being that this was halfway through the year, it's 5,700. You really think we need to go to 55 with that? This was 6 months into the year and we were at 23 through 58.
Right now, we're at 44.
For what types of things are we purchasing?
A lot of it is plow maintenance. And we
Oh.
just, well,
It was up this year?
trucks.
It was up this year.
The plow trucks, but that's typically what a lot of it is, but we paid quite a bit on one of the mowers, I believe, to have a fix recently.
And I do see that there's a note about increase due to union contract for clothing, I think, right? So
Yeah.
they get reimbursed for clothing and wear. If they're on the roads, would the his vest, that comes out of the equipment purchase, that's fine.
No, that comes out of the other purchase supplies.
Any questions, comments? I think food for thought, my opinion is, I understand gas prices are obviously variable, but I think I'm under the opinion that I'd rather set the budget lower and, obviously try our best to come in under it, but if we come over that, I'd rather not put such a drastic increase in the gas price. I understand why it was done. I think if cuts have to happen, that's why. Any other comments, questions? Okay, thanks, Eric. You're welcome. We're going to go to waste disposal.
It's 3204, next to far.
Same deal here, I assume.
Yeah, increases here, SCARA, Resource Recovery Authority. Their fees are going up July 1st. But at least with this, we can offset it on the other end because we pay them and then we charge the hauling companies $2 more than what we're paying, so.
So we're making money then.
Yeah, so this, even though our expense goes up, our income is gonna go up.
Okay.
The bulky waste tipping fees though, Casella, they went up quite a bit. I'm sure everyone knows for their own trash at home. A lot of it they're saying is because of the new gas tax on trucks. So that's an estimate of how much it will be next year. And the other thing that went up is fuel. Again, we're gonna be over again in fuel because this is for the roll-off truck. And that's a diesel, so we need more money in that fuel line item. And also Todd wanted to put in to get another dumpster that got taken out last year. He wants to try and put it back in to cycle through the dumpster replacement.
Do we have a contract with Casella or are they the only gig in town? Or?
Yeah, we're looking at different options.
Okay.
They bought with the waste.
Yeah,
I know there's another company that's been kind of picking people off. Yeah.
Everything was some investigation how I saw one town for selecting meeting about the town getting into picking up the local garbage. Did that ever go anywhere?
I know Todd's been researching it. I don't know where he's at with that. I don't know if Dana knows that.
What's happened is CWPM is matching Casella's dollar for dollar. So at this point, they're raising their fees, and fees have gone up even for towns about 200%. So the Southeastern Connecticut Council of Governments is trying to figure out a way we can go out to bid as a group of towns and maybe get that lowered, but it's probably not going to happen within the next year or two.
Okay, go ahead.
Eric, do we have any idea as far as how much permit fees outweigh the cost of the tipping fees? I shouldn't say outweigh, maybe help.
Yeah, permit fees do not cover the 53,000. We had, yeah, $25,000 in there for permit fees.
And when was last, you know, when the last time we went up on a permit fee?
It's been at least 10 or 15 years.
It makes sense to take a look at that if we have to incur the cost of this going up about 200%, as you said, and our permit fees are still 15 years old. I think worthwhile taking a look at that.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, sir. Yeah, we're gonna move on to maintenance of town buildings.
So 1801 would be the first one. This is for the town hall. We have our contractual increases in there. We went up a couple thousand on electricity due to rates going up. And that's it for increases there, other than contractual.
Yeah, go on.
So 5101, the regular full-time payroll custodian.
Yes.
This seems to be one that wasn't the same as last year. Oh, no, it was, I'm sorry.
Any other questions? All right, that's good on that one.
The next one, 1802, this is for Patchogue Town Hall. Again, we went up for electricity. And we also went up a little bit for heating fuel. And also building repairs for new wiring, they're putting in new light switches there. So that's the cost to do all the new wiring and the new light switches.
Eric, I thought when that building was rehabbed, it was rewired, not that long ago.
I thought that was just all the HVAC was redone in there.
Oh, so the entire building wasn't rewired all the time?
The roof has been done and the HVAC system's been done. But they want to put outside lights, I think, on one of the other sides that doesn't have any.
Eric, this income, and they rent that building out to some people,
Yeah, a little bit, but we don't get too much for it.
it doesn't cover the cost.
Yeah,
What is that building used for? I mean, we don't vote out there anymore. What are the other ones?
some entities in town will use it. Like the veterans coffee shop was meeting there till this place opened. The historical society meets in there, just a few small groups.
So for repair, like the new switches, that's done by a licensed electrical contractor, or is it done in-house? By your own?
I don't know that, got that stuff.
Yeah, I'm starting to want to sell it. I know it's like that.
It's 5,000.
Yeah. The building's really not used that much. I don't know.
Used for voting too.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, any other questions? No. Okay, next one.
1803, this is the highway building, the only increase there again is with electricity for Eversource.
Okay, any questions? Straightforward, thank you, Nick.
This one is 1804. This is for the ambulance garage. The only thing we have in there really, no change, the 2,000, we are going to finishing replacing windows in that garage next year.
Have we used any of it this year?
We have, let me see. We're at 780 right now, and then the remaining, we're gonna purchase some of the windows this year, and then we're gonna do the rest next year.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, Eric. We're gonna move on to debt service. Retirement.
This is 8101. The only unknown in the debt service is the payment for the community multi-purpose field. I have an estimate in there what I think it's gonna be. We're just gonna have one interest payment due next year, and I'm estimating it's gonna be within around that amount. And that's dependent on if we use the full 3.8 million here, so still a variable, but that's a conservative interest number there. All the other ones are set, we know that those are what our payments.
With the roof. Yeah. Let us listen.
The school roof's included in the top one, the construction.
Oh, it is. Okay. You happen to have in front of you, I don't think I brought it, remember I asked you that one time to how much we have left on each of these? You have that handy? Let me see if I can. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, are any of these rolling off in the next?
That's what
The roof's gonna be next, I think it's got 4 more years, but that's a pretty small
So nothing's rolling off for another 3 or 4 years.
one, correct? Yeah, the next one, roof bond is 10/1/26 is the last payment.
How much do we owe?
We owe 400,000 on it right now,
How much do we pay here?
a little over 100,000. Then after that is school construction is 2029. That's a big one, that's a 1.4 million.
Yeah, it's huge. What are we on that? I'm just curious.
8.1 million.
So I bet around the idea of food, but I just to get the ball rolling, so people start thinking. I think it wouldn't be a terrible idea to consider using, obviously, not tonight, just think about using some of the reserves to pay off. And obviously, we have to think about interest rates and stuff, and go a little bit into it to pay off the school roof. I mean, that's $100,000 a year off the budget right there, so that's obviously a one-time expense, so there's really nothing better to use a reserve fund for. Just something to think about.
The interest rates though that we have.
So low back then, we'd have to see,
Yeah, I want to say it's probably around 25%.
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe better to, yeah, that's a good point, but at the same time, it's,
Maybe more money in the bank.
yeah,
They make more sense to put that money towards the other bond for the field, which is gonna be significantly higher rate houses.
yeah.
You know, personally, we want to put the money, our town roads, we cut every year. And think if we have money to move extend, we need to consider the roads money too. If you look at taxpayer complaints, their number one complaint is our condition of our roads.
Sure.
So
Yeah, agreed, totally.
we kill the road budget every year that I've sat on the board. We have extra money that would be something I'd be really in favor of.
Yeah, certainly. And the good news is last year we funded it very helpful, very.
Yeah, but as Jim said last night, we're gonna be behind the eight ball even if we fund the way we are.
Even though we funded it last year, it wasn't what the road studies that we should have.
You know.
We did fund that.
My concern is, we're looking at, if you combine the two, what are we looking at, the school is 1.5 million and the town is 600,000, so we're talking $2.1 million increase.
Mhm.
We have to find ways to, lessen that increase.
They have to refer to the street at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it will settle out as a lower increase.
Yeah, that was a question that I there.
Yeah. And that's gonna be all in the farm.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, does everyone want to start having that discussion now, or do you want to wait till next meeting?
You do know, we're looking at this,
What's that?
the balance. Under 90,000.
Is that official though?
Well, the superintendent said they were putting in to get a reimbursement. At the last meeting.
Yeah, but I don't think that was,
Yeah, we're still trying to get money for the senior center too.
Yeah. We're not gonna go there.
so what's the opinion? I want to wait till the next meeting, because that's really when it's gonna be hashed out, or do you want to start talking about it now?
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I could just, on one of the earlier comments
Sure.
concerning the roads and how we've always reduced the roads, if in fact we're considering that, we probably, adding to the road budget, we probably should get an answer from Todd on whether he has the staff and ability to
Yeah.
do that additional road work.
Good point.
Because it's, the ability isn't there, then we should be looking at the budget perhaps differently.
Yeah,
So maybe, Eric, if we could ask Todd to maybe address that next week.
Yep. Just thinking out loud here, I guess I'm trying to think if there's ever anything outstanding that we need to know at this point. I can't think of anything. We've heard everybody.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I'll go out on the limit also.
Go ahead, yeah, let's-
Before we end for the night.
real quick, but I'd like to get our bulk home.
Listen, I'm just thinking in my own head, we need to be, we're gonna need to find somewhere between 425 and at least 700,000 to get down to an acceptable range. Going off the sheet, that would put us between 0.7 to 1 mil increase.
Can I see that?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like it, the voter increase that much, but. We need to wrap our heads around the fact that, at least in my opinion, we need to use a considerable amount of reserve fund too. There's just no doubt about it, this is, we have to use it.
And maybe cut wasn't the right thing to say.
Gotcha.
You know, figuring out how to lower expenses.
Lower some.
revenue. I don't think we're gonna increase the revenue.
Here's my, here, I'll move it all the conversation. Here's my opinion. I think this budget needs to be our last ditch effort to stall one more year in order to get the infrastructure project on that. Everyone is named. This seems to be our last chance to stall and basically say, this is it. We're putting our cards on the table and we need, economic development starting next year. Otherwise, taxes are gonna have to start seriously increasing, but I think we have enough ammunition left to certainly soften the blow this year, but again, that infrastructure is pretty key to the future of the town. We need, and again, I think things are moving forward nicely, but at the same time, we can't constantly, plug the holes in the reserves. And again, you know, to Val's point, yeah, a lot of people, when I talk to a lot of people in town, that they're concerned about the roads, but probably about twice as many concerned about the taxes too. And again, we have a pretty low mill rate considering, but at the same time, look at the economy and the state of affairs and, you know, I hate breaking people's backs with increases every year in taxes, so.
You know, I think with a healthy and designated fund balance, it's probably a year to do it, but having said that, now what comes the year after that?
Agreed, that's why we
The
made it.
budget goes up, which is gonna artificially deflate your percentage on your undesignated fund balance, not artificially.
Yeah. Agreed, that's why we made, you know, it needs to be very calculated what we're doing. Again, sometimes it's such, but it has to be done because, I mean, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I completely agree that our fund balance is healthy,
Yeah.
more than healthy. My concern is that, as you said, the money that the taxpayers approved of to invest into infrastructure for economic development, that hasn't really turned the full cycle yet. And we don't know how well that's going to turn. Because if we head into a recession, then the economic development gets slowed, even though we're ready for it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a mistake to just approve all the budgets carte blanche because we feel that we have enough money here and now because we're kicking the can down the road. As Dan said, what about next year and the next year and the next year? I just think that we should be diligent about going through all these budgets and pare them back as best we can. And then look to get feedback from the first selectman about her budget and the board of ed about theirs and go forward. But I would not be in favor of just putting it out to vote just as it sits. And I would not be in favor of any major tax increase. I think the taxpayers need to have us hold the line for them.
I agree completely with everything you just said, Gail. I think, you know, you just summed it up. We need to hold the line, and it might get a bit painful for the town and school, but we need to do what it's our job to try to balance it, and I think that's what we're gonna do.
I agree with Gail and everything that she just said. And I also saw, we saw a referendum on the school ball field. And it was very close. So the taxpayers are telling us something right there that it's enough, they need to wait.
Yeah. Real quick side note, so this sheet here, Eric, this was done before our updated revenues.
No, that is gonna be up to
Now, how about
me. I'll double check.
how about the increase to the grants?
I think that takes everything
I think I was rejected that after, yeah, for sure.
I'll make sure. I'll send that back out to everybody, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I would just say, having listened to all the budgets, you know, I think, are there places we can cut? Yes. Are there places we can cut the non-increased taxes to the tune of 1.2 million or 1.3 million? That's for sure. Not with contractual obligations and some of the reasons we heard for the increases, not without going after things we don't want to go after.
I see now, because the base is a 1.2 million increase, because that takes into effect about 600 and something thousand increase to the grants revenue. Yeah. So again, everyone think about this for our next meeting, because that's when it's gonna get down to the nitty gritty, and
Can you give us a new sheet now? With how much?
The new mill rate sheet, yeah. Yeah, if there's anything else you guys want before Tuesday, let me know. I can get it to you.
okay. Okay, any other comments, questions, concerns? All right, So, yeah, was there a motion? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Where is it? Town hall? Say.
There.